Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Pointless Top 10, a show where we make top 10 lists out of pointless things, where we fly by this pointless statue in Booty Bay, because inside pointless things are treasure. Let's begin. 10. Number 10 are the Storm Giants located in the Howling Fjord, and the Storm Giants are these massive giants that are just walking around the Howling Fjord ready to beat up anybody they come across, but Storm Giants, according to Wowpedia, are actually Titan-forged giants who are afflicted with the Curse of Flesh. And if you don't know what the Curse of Flesh is, it's a curse created by the old god Yogg-Saron, and the curse originated from the Forge of Wills and slowly spread through the Titan Forge, turning them from metal and stone to flesh beings. In fact, the Storm Giants were decimated by the Lich King, who had the Scourge raise them back into undeath and use their corpses to create mindless flesh giants. So that's pretty crazy. And of course, one of the big reasons I love these guys is these are pretty much the equivalent of the Fell Reavers from Hellfire Peninsula or like Devil Swords in Ungoro. Like, they walk around, and if you're not paying attention, boom, you're probably dead to a storm giant. But I do love the way they look. They got big moose antler helmets. They got, like, barrels as shin guards. They got big beards. They're just really cool looking. They're like weird Viking giants, and that's why the storm giants are number 10. 9. Number 9 was going to be Grossier and the Fellrage Scrogs, which sounds like a band, but it's not. It is a fell giant and a bunch of these fell-infused giants, which I think look pretty cool. But the world quest for them spawning just never occurred, so instead, I decided to do Flog the Captain Eater. But I still wanted to give a little shout out to the Fellrage Scrogs, of course. But Flog the Captain Eater is a sea giant located in Oceanus Cove in Azuna, and he can be found in combat with Captain Blindside and his crew of South Sea smugglers. And I kind of feel bad for Flog the Captain Eater, because he's just trying to find the captain and eat him, right? Like, that's all he wants to do, but he's chained up. They're shooting him with cannons. They got a bunch of pirates fighting him. He probably just wants a fair 1v1 with the captain. But look at that. They're doing all these other things to him. So that sucks. Plus, he's got a sea star attached to his head. So that probably is uncomfortable. He's also a part of the Adventure of Azuna achievement, where you have to go around and complete a bunch of special encounters in Azuna. And so that's why Flog the Captain Eater and the Fellrage Scrogs are number 9. 8. Number 8 are Karoon and the Stone Giants, and I always remember Karoon in Grizzly Hills because they're all overlooking the big dwarven area, and they're throwing boulders down into the dwarven area, and it's one of my most memorable quests from Grizzly Hills, so I was like, well, I gotta put these giants on here. Plus, they have big pine trees sticking out of them, which is kind of insane. Like, these giants have literal pine trees growing on their backs. Like, that's got to be terrible for posture, right? Plus, then the roots are growing onto you. Look at that. He's got roots growing onto his face. It'd probably suck if a root just grew in front of your eye and then you just couldn't see anything, or you had to, like, rip it off, but it probably hurts or tears apart your rock skin off. I don't know how that works. But this is also just a really cool area. Like, you've got all the giants fighting against each other and throwing stuff at each other. Then you got the giants that are just throwing rocks and trees down at the iron dwarves below them. Like I said, it's one of the most memorable parts of Grizzly Hills for me, and so I had to put it on this list. So that's why Karoon and the Stone Giants are number 8. 7. Number 7 is Fa-Jarak, Lord of Smoke, and the fiery behemoths that are throwing fire boulders with him. So we're going back-to-back giants throwing stuff, but I love the fact that Fa-Jarak is the Lord of Smoke, because think of how much smoke there is in the game, right? And this dude is the Lord of Smoke. So, I mean, I don't know how he chose him to be the Lord of Smoke. I don't know if he chose himself to be the Lord of Smoke. Maybe everybody else named him the Lord of Smoke. I don't know what it is, but his title is the Lord of Smoke. He's like the Snoop Dogg of molten giants. But he actually looks pretty cool. He's got this green fell energy kind of radiating through him, while all the other ones have red lava energy going through him. I don't know what it is. And you know what? I think Fa-Jarak actually just has smoke coming off of him constantly. I think that's why. For some reason, I thought the smoke behind him was coming from the volcano, but I think it's just coming from him. So you know what? I guess I do get it. Maybe he really is the Lord of Smoke. And that's why he's number 7. 6. Number 6 are the Ice Giants, and Ice Giants are located in Winter Spring and Dragonblight, and these are probably some of my favorite giants in the game in terms of just generic giants, because, you know, obviously there's a lot of name giants and stuff we've been going through, but these are just your standard ice giants. There's nothing that special about them. They just walk around. They're made of ice, but I really love them for some reason. I'm always a person that likes ice things in games. Like, I like ice Pokemon and stuff like that. So I always remember going to Winter Spring and getting the ice crystals and being like, oh god, the ice giants are gonna get you, but you could like stealth around them and stuff like that. So that was always really fun. And then I remember seeing them in Dragonblight as well, you know, just running around or standing in the big ice caverns. Like I just really like ice giants, man. There's nothing else to it. There's nothing that crazy, but this one's stuck in the stairs, so that's not too good for him. Or I guess that's not stairs. It's like the temple cement. He's in there. He's not getting out. But either way, that's why the ice giants are number 6.
5.
Number 5 are the Molten Giants, and the Molten Giants are also known as Magma Giants or Magma Destroyers, according to Wowpedia, and they are native to the Firelands, but some have been pulled into Azeroth by Ragnaros, hence why they are in Molten Core. And I wanted to put these on the list because I always remember going to Molten Core way back in the day, and you walk in, and there's just those 2 Molten Giants standing there, just staring you down, and you're like, dude, this is going to be crazy, right? Like these 2 giants are standing in your way from going into the rest of the raid. And I always love that, like the 2 gatekeeper giants just blocking your path. And then once you're able to take them down, it just felt like the raid had begun. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, here we go. We're into Molten Core. And obviously there's more Molten Giants throughout Molten Core and everything like that. But for some reason, I always remember those first 2. And I think it's because of those, you know, implications of what they are. They are the gatekeepers to the raid. And once you brought them down, you were doing Molten Core. And another fun little piece of information I found, Molten Giants are similar to Infernals in that their bodies are composed of stone while their souls are those of fire elementals. So that's pretty neat. So that's why the Molten Giants are number 5.
4.
Number 4 is Mokrash the Cleaver, and Mokrash is a sea giant found on Gennaro's Point, west of Booty Bay, in the Cape of Stranglethorn, right next to the Pointless statue where we talk about how inside Pointless things are treasure. You knew I had to put the giant on the Pointless Treasure Island here, right? You knew I had to do it. But he is one of the giants that sank Captain Heckleberry Smot's ships, and you are supposed to go kill him for a quest from Captain Heckleberry Smot's. And he yells out things such as, "Smots, I have your little belt. Come and get it. Smots, come out and play. Don't let this statue be my only company. Come out and play." And there's a few other quotes and taunts, but he's just trash talking Smots, right? But I do love how he's one of the old school sea giants that just is very aquatic bluish green, and he's just got this giant hammer, and he's got some armor made out of shells, and then he's got the giant green beard. I just think the old sea giants look pretty cool, so I wanted to put him on the list kind of as a representative of all the old sea giants. So that's why Mokrash the Cleaver is number 4.
3.
Number 3 are Thiazi the Lightning Bringer and Gymir, who is the king of the Storm Giants. And Thiazi is actually being ridden by Antioch, Grand Necrolord of the Scourge, and he lures his brother into a trap after he is converted into an undead flesh giant. And Thiazi is actually a reference to Thiazi, a giant from Norse mythology who tried to trick the gods by stealing their apples of youth. Meanwhile, Gymir, who is a reference to Ymir from Norse mythology, is trapped in a cage after his brother lured him into the trap, and then you help break him out, and then you go and you take out all of the Scourge all around while riding on top of Gymir. And I mainly wanted to put these guys high up on the list because one is the king of the Storm Giants, and the other one is his brother who's been corrupted, so there's a little cool lore thing going on here, and it all ties into the Lich King as well. So a lot of cool stuff here, and that's why Gymir and Thiazi are number 3.
2.
Number 2 is Torseg the Exiled, and Torseg the Exiled is a frost giant located in the Storm Peaks, and he's just chilling out, sleeping, and that's it. He's just chilling out, sleeping, and nobody really knows why. I've always wondered, how did Torseg get exiled? Like, what did he do? Did he do something so bad he got kicked out? Did he do something that people just didn't like? Like, why did Torseg get exiled? And now he just chills, being by the fire, staring into it, wondering, pondering, reflecting. Like, I don't know. I don't know what happened to Torseg. I did read a comment that said this is the only frost giant that has the giant label, which is kind of funny that none of the other frost giants have the giant label. But really though, I don't know if we'll ever find out about Torseg the Exiled. Maybe one day he will show up and he'll have some heroic arc in a future expansion. But until then, I like Torseg the Exiled. He's a good guy. Unless he did something bad, in which case I don't like him. But until then, he's number 2.
1.
And number 1 is Fozruk, and Fozruk is a mountain giant located in the Arathi Highlands, and in Classic WoW, he has a little kobold pack with him. There's Phoebos, who is a mage that casts damage spells and holds a staff with a green crystal at the top, which always makes me think of Skaven. Maybe they were also inspired by Skaven, who knows? There's Xenort, who is a random melee mob, and then there is Sleeby, who is the healer that will heal himself and his friends if allowed. And the main reason people want to kill Fozruk is he carries the magical rod which unlocks the keystone in the Circle of Inner Binding. But I always remember seeing this guy in Classic WoW, and he used to be elite, and then they made him not elite in Burning Crusade, and now he's down to like level 30, he's not elite, he doesn't even have his kobold friends anymore. They've really just kept nerfing him and taking everything away from him. His elite status, his HP, his kobold friends. So you know what? We're going to give something back to him. We're going to give him number 1 on the list of giants. So that's why Fozruk is number 1. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this episode of Pointless Top 10. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Also, if you want to watch some more Pointless Top 10s, you can go check out Lily Pads from last week, or you could go check out Shipwrecks since we talked about shipwrecks today. Also, consider supporting the channel on patreon.com/Crendor or by becoming a channel member. Okay? Okay. See ya.